Welcome. I live on my hand-built solar boat called the Helios 11. This is where the journey left off the last time I made an update. We anchored one night in the Petite Rhone River outlet and it was magical. No flamingos, but a beautiful sunset and absolute silence. The temperature is comfortable around 15 degrees Celsius. In the evening and the morning, we charged up our batteries a bit in the low sunshine before heading out further west toward Spain. That's the place I'm looking forward to the most. Since leaving our first natural anchorage at the salty Mediterranean, we've cruised fast at 7 knots for whole days and also spent time in a harbor and riverside at Agde in southern France. The last week has been absolutely windy with near gale conditions of 30 to 40 knot wind, about 15 to 22 meters per second winds, and we've actually cruised during calmer periods of 22 to 30 knots of wind. The first heavy wind trip was a bit scary because I've never sailed this small prototype in that heavy headwind, but it worked great as we got forward at a pretty good pace without expending a lot of batteries at all. Most people would call these stormy and dangerous conditions, but all sailors watching this video know that it's just a seriously fresh breeze. But I have a question. Where are you? I've seen 0 boats out there the last entire week. I'm the only one out there. Only 1 or 2 other fishing boats have dared to challenge the apparent fuel crisis. Luckily, I need no fuel on board. So let's just hope we can get those fishermen out there for real, putting some food on the shelves. That is important. Alright, back to the present. We're currently hiking here in the countryside of southern France. Our boat is somewhere down there. You can see a bit of the water. We also have an amazing view here of the mountains. I believe there's a bit of snow on them, or then the rocks are very bright. The weather has now improved significantly, the wind dropping over 50% down to 8-10 knots. That is perfect for reaching Spain. Actually, today we got maybe 5 to 6 hours of cruising and then we're gonna set into a beautiful anchor somewhere there. But before that, we're gonna head to the store picking up some more supplies. I want to have a minimum of 60 days survival stash on board, so every time I go to the store, today I'm gonna go to Lidl, I carry as much food as possible and then I slowly raise the amount of food I have on board. After this hike here in the forest, we're gonna head to Lidl and I'll show you what good foods we're gonna bring on board. We like oranges. Rice cakes are good if you don't bother to boil rice. We love dark chocolate. Alright, we've made it to the boat. Let's take a look at everything we've got. So we got these sofa seats here, absolutely full of food and spring water. Also a fridge in the tiny kitchen. Alright, it is time to head out. I'm first gonna check the electric motor, that everything is okay.
We are free again and heading out from the harbor. The batteries are absolutely full and the solar charge is very good at the moment. We're charging more than we need for a proper cruising speed of 6.5 to 7 knots. We're gonna reach Spain in no time. Now the fishing system is set up, starting with very simple things. I've had some experience and luck fishing in Finland and Sweden, but I'm no expert, and the Mediterranean is a completely new territory for me. Hopefully we can catch something. And we just passed this large catamaran here. Of course, the comparison is not fair because it's not really any wind out here under 6 knots. I would have liked to get a drone shot with a bit of competition, but we have to wait for some wind to give the others a chance. There's definitely fish around here. You can see them jumping around us all the time. One right there, possibly a bonito. Today we're eating minced meat and oranges. We got the autopilot on, which is just setting the rudder straight and sometimes actually checking from here straight to the front window if we're keeping course. Alright, we're currently crossing the border between France and Spain. To celebrate this big step in our journey, I've made a cheesecake. Simple, a rice cake, cheese and jam. Delicious. Haha, we just found a new fender. Let's see it. Yeah, it's fully intact. We just need to put some ropes here and we'll have a proper fender. Now we have the mist clearing up and the border is right there behind those cliffs. Now the mist has cleared up and we're exactly at the border of France and Spain. It goes somewhere there. And we're gonna continue now downwind in this very beautiful weather. There's a harbor here, the first town of Spain. A sailing boat is heading inside, but we're gonna find a natural anchorage because the weather is so calm and it's just way more beautiful. The next couple days is gonna be very low wind, and the wind is also mostly coming from directions that are sheltered by the harbors. Alright, we've made it to our anchoring spot. We have a bay here and the city very much protected from the current winds. And here's a note about the solar panels. They seem to be very durable. I've been scratching them, I've been pulling the chain on top of these solar panels here on the front, and I've not noticed any significant difference in the solar input. Of course, it's gonna be a bit lower, but I don't really care about damaging them, because either way, in a couple of years, I might upgrade them, as I'm kind of on this test run to see how far we can take the solar boat. Let's set the anchor and check out the environment. It's only about 1.5 meters here, but we should be alright because we have a very shallow draft on the Helios 11. We can also bring up the motor, and then we're like 30 centimeters deep. I went diving a bit just to take a look at how the anchor and the chain lays on the bottom. Currently, this light wind isn't even enough to dig in the anchor into the seabed, but that is fine. It's gonna get stuck whenever it needs to get stuck. The water is a bit cold, I think 14 degrees Celsius, so I had a quick look also at the bottom of the boat. You can see just a bit of growth, and this boat has been in the water now for 6 months with no anti-fouling, no poisonous paint, and it's looking pretty good. Now I think it's time to have the room tour, or the boat tour that everybody's been asking for. The rear sun deck is 230 wide and 160 long, enough to pretty much lay here. And we got the table. Actually, it's not a table, but we use it as a table. Here we have the motor, the e-propulsion 6 kilowatt outboard. From here we can move to the main hall. It's a large room, 3 meters long, so 1, 2, 3 meters, and 240 wide roughly. Full standing height. That is the greatest benefit of a solar boat, that you can have such amazing space. So here we got almost 2 meters of standing space, and the cabin is kind of a square, so it's not that awkward as it's in pretty much every other boat. You can see the walls are almost straight, and this is not just for comfort. It makes the boat faster as the solar array becomes better shaped and larger. After the living room, we got the tiny kitchen, some shelves, and a fridge. Much of the food we actually keep underneath the sofas of the living room. Everything we put in here will be situated at the absolute bottom of the boat, so all the food, all the water, and the cans of sardines, they will actually make the boat more comfortable and stable in waves. Now at the other side of the kitchen, kind of an awkward spot, here is the marine composting toilet. Simple stuff. I'm not gonna show how I shit. And then we move over to the bedroom. Here is the bedroom. It's a pretty large bedroom for an 11-meter boat. It's 2 meters long and 230 wide. The cabin is still full height here, so we can stand here. 190, slowly getting lower as we move toward the driver's cabin. I'm gonna show you the full room layout in this image, and there you will see how everything makes sense, how I managed to put so much space inside of this pretty small boat. We got a lot of shelves here all around the bedroom. Most of them are still empty. I've angled them a bit so that when the boat rolls in the waves, nothing will fall off. And there's so much space here. I have all my stuff here, but my girlfriend still needs to get her shit together, and then we're gonna have some more order in this boat. Now we can move to the driver's cabin. As you've seen, here we have the beautiful attachment for my seat. I'm not an interior designer, nor do I have the patience to finish up everything. That is why I've just made everything so that it works. It doesn't need to look that pretty, except from the drone shots, those look epic. The next versions will surely be much better finished with a way higher budget. So this is the room I drive from. We got the plywood steering wheel. Still, we have a lot of order to be installed in here. We just have thrown in everything. And we also have that barely standing cabin height here. But usually when we're driving, we sit. Now out here on the front sun deck, where we got the solar panels, you can absolutely step on. We got a pretty large amount of space. I come out here when we're cruising in calm conditions, and then as I leave this like that, with just a stick, I can steer from here and just sit here in the sunlight. That is awesome. A bit dangerous to most people, but as I said, I only stay here in calm weather. We got 2 meters, a bit above 2 meters of space here to lay down. Perfect place for tanning. Now here's the hole for the backup sail. I can plug in the mast here. Also very convenient to hold on to. As I've shown in a previous video, you can just stand here and be very safe. The backup sail is awesome because it allows me to travel faster if the winds are favorable. Also, if the motor breaks for some reason or the batteries malfunction, I will still get somewhere. But I haven't actually used the backup sail a single time now in the Mediterranean because there's simply so much sunlight that the travel speed is much faster than I expected. Putting up the sail will actually block a bit of sunlight, and yeah, you always have to do a bit of work when you set up the sail and manage it, so I just ignore it. Instead, we may want to add some solar here, make it a bit more efficient, or we keep it as it is because I think the batteries have already charged. Let's take a look. Here we have the batteries. 2 of the batteries are visible right here. 1, 2. The third one is further back there, and there you can also see the light of the solar charge controllers. So let's check the battery level. There we have the indicator LED lights. So yeah, we are at roughly 90%. No, actually we are at 100%. Because the batteries shut off because they are now completely full, or the batteries didn't shut off, but the indicator lights as the charge stopped coming in. And that's the inverter. We get a normal power plug here. Also some USB cables coming out from this. Very convenient. With that inverter, we are powering the infrared heating, as well as the laptops, the lights, and the navigation lights somewhere up there on the roof. So it feels just awesome living on this boat. We're already charged to 100% after traveling today roughly 40 nautical miles. We still got like 1 or 2 hours of sunshine, which means that for this casual day cruising under, let's say, 60 nautical miles, the Helios 11 is actually too powerful. But of course, you never can have too much. We want to travel faster, we want to travel further, and also if it's absolutely cloudy or rainy, we want to have that battery capacity and increased solar area to get forward as well. Maybe slightly slower, but still at a seriously faster pace than sailing boats. So very happy about this. Now I'm gonna take a look at the shore with the dinghy. Okay, I think I found our bait fish. I'm gonna grab this hopefully not too smelly fish and cut it up, put it on a hook, and hopefully catch something bigger. I'll just put it there. Mennään tonne. I'm gonna cut up some pieces of the dead fish I found yesterday and I'll put it on a hook. No fish yet, and now we're gonna move to another location just like 20 minutes away. That allows us to be in complete cover of the wind that is now turning a bit for the night.
Lemon. We found the rosemary nearby the beach. I'm gonna hang it there. Yeah, it's kinda cute.
So yeah, this harbor is definitely the most beautiful I've been to so far. The one I showed you in the start is now ranking at number 2. The first thing I want to do right now is to head up to these cliffs. So let's jump inside of the dinghy and get moving. So I'm literally just running straight up the hill with the Hypershell Ultra I got, and I feel like a mountain goat. Sometimes I need to carry Faye, otherwise she's gonna fall behind too much. But it's just incredible. I'm pretty strong, I'm pretty fast, but with these I feel superhuman.
So here I'm running uphill with an extra 1.3 horsepower strapped to my legs as I'm stress testing the Hypershell X Ultra exoskeleton that directly enhances my athletic performance. For some time now I've used it for both outdoors adventures and everyday endurance tasks such as carrying heavy supplies. Not to go easy on myself, but to move faster, further and with greater precision while not wearing myself out. It fits so well with living on my futuristic Helios 11, as the Hypershell is the best outdoor skeleton to date. It's a leap toward the future, the first consumer-grade exoskeleton, comprehensively field-tested and verified to reduce physical exertion by up to 39% and lowers the heart rate by up to 42%. That plus the up to 30 kilometers per charge range means that it's powerful, not a toy, but a technology that unlocks a new level of human performance for me, even though I'm already naturally athletic. So today I'm putting the new M1 Ultra motor system to a test and seeing whether the aerospace grade construction is solid. Just at 1.8 kilograms, it's really light and I can barely feel wearing the Hypershell. The leg rods are constructed from spiral twill 3000 carbon fiber, similar to what is used in racing yachts, while several of the core load-bearing components are built out of titanium alloy that allows the exoskeleton to be so light, rigid, sleek and aesthetic. The exoskeleton has an eco mode and various settings to match any activity. The hyper mode is the one I've used every time, as I've never run out of batteries so far with the 2 intelligence batteries that work in both extreme cold and heat. Here I'm activating the hyper mode at 100% capacity to rapidly run uphill while allowing maximum focus on precision movement. These sharp and jagged rocks and potentially deadly falls are no joke, so when I'm almost flying up the terrain, I can nimbly land my feet at the right spots to maintain balance. As I don't have to put so much physical strain into my movement, this potentially reckless vertical sprint actually becomes safe. The Hypershell knows exactly how I want to move and intelligently deploys thrust or reduces landing impacts. The inbuilt AI Motion Engine Ultra adapts real time to my movement and actually learns based on my movement patterns. So it's not a mere machine, but feels like an extension of my will. And this certainly is not the intended use case, but I had to try it. I'm carrying my girlfriend uphill using the up to 1000 watts of additional power from the Hypershell. I can take long, full steps and walk fast. But I repeat, you shouldn't try this as it's not designed to carry 2 persons, although it clearly can. As I keep exploring the coastlines and mountains on my journey, I know I can effortlessly reach almost any location with the Hypershell X Ultra, the extension of my own strength. This is real freedom of movement, and if that power is something you'd like to unlock like I've done, follow this link to learn more about the Hypershell and get the newest X Ultra model that brings the maximum performance available right now. Alright, we made it all the way to the top. View is great, and also the view of the boat makes me think how beautiful this is that I've been able to create an infinite range yacht from the sci-fi movies. Well, it doesn't quite look like that, but I have some upgrades in mind, such as 1 or 2 additional pontoons, making it a proa or a trimaran design that will just greatly increase the aesthetics, but more importantly make it way more stable in anchor and when cruising, and at the same time we also get significantly more solar area that is actually slightly more power than the additional resistance of the pontoons will generate. So that is good news. I just gotta plan that upgrade, find the right location and find the right materials. Plywood, glass fiber and epoxy is pretty much all I need. I'm gonna try this double anchor, a primitive one, to improve the comfort and safety of the anchorage. Very good, now we will be swinging from side to side way less. And that means we are always facing toward the wind, and that is the best way to be anchored. I have a question for you. When did you last look at the stars? for real. I think most people miss that, and we forget the magic of this world. It's really nice having all of this power on board. It's a bit cool still, especially in the mornings, and the water is around 15 degrees. So putting this thing on after swimming is super cozy. I actually was planning to build a small sauna in this boat, but I figured it's gonna be a bit too cramped. But I could run a 3 kilowatt sauna. Maybe we could fit one in the front. There's a lot of empty space in the bow of the boat, huge amount of space, but of course you cannot kind of stand up there, so it could work. So if we organize here, we might fit a strange laying sauna. Here's room for 2 people to sleep. So I think if we just clean things up, make some insulation and get more heating, that could work. And we have ourselves a strange bow sauna where you lay down, get heated up, and then you go swimming. Sounds good. Yesterday I saw a lot of things on the beach, mostly just garbage like plastic, something from fishing, but also useful things such as ropes. And I think now I've spotted a fender. It looks like a fender, might be broken, so I'm gonna get some work done here first in the boat and then go check it out if we can find something useful. Ah, that's a fender. Fully intact. We'll take it. So this is now my office. I've been working here at the beach in the sunshine on the next solar yacht designs, and Faye was walking up on the mountains and you found a lot of herbs. We got rosemary and lavender. Let's take a look. We can use the rosemary in both cooking and decoration, and the lavender is looking beautiful. The weather and the wind forecast is looking very good, so I think it is time to head out. We're gonna move there and around and then head towards southern Spain.
The wake is looking really clean. It feels like we're planing, but obviously we're not planing. Today we're traveling the entire journey at maximum speed of 7.5 to 8 knots now in the downwind. We can have the throttle at maximum because the journey is so short. It's under 20 nautical miles, so we won't even notice the batteries going down pretty much. We're getting 3000 watts currently from the solar, so that means that we will pretty much be at full again in a couple hours after sitting in anchor, so pretty cool. So we made it a couple hours ago. We were in a natural reservoir and now we're here outside of the city of Roses, I think the name was. We saw actually some pink flowers at the shores there. Let's hope they were roses. And now I remember my childhood when I was spending all summer, every summer on my father's sailing boat. It was roughly the same size as this one, slightly shorter, slightly wider, and much heavier, and it took him like 4 years to build it. I built this simple thing that absolutely outperforms it in 6 months. And whenever we came to harbor, you always had to, you know, lower the sails, make sure everything is okay, set the anchor, make sure you don't hit anything with the deep keel. But with this boat, you just drop the anchor and do whatever you want to do afterwards. The solar panels are charging up the batteries. We're currently at 60%. We might get to like 95% during this afternoon, and then we'll have enough energy for heating. So all of this cost me roughly 30,000 euros, and if I were to build this boat again, I think I would do it at 15k, because I would choose a better way of doing it. I wasted a lot of materials, I wasted a lot of time when I did some mistakes, but now I know exactly what would need to be upgraded. So those are some numbers for somebody who might be interested in having, a liveaboard boat with infinite range. It works similar to a sailing boat. You extract free energy, nearly infinite, from nature, and then you use it for propulsion, and in this case also for living. A sailing boat, you will have to have a separate solar system to also have sufficient amount of electricity for everything, heating devices, and the sauna. We're gonna try out the simple version of that sauna in the front of the boat tonight with Faye. So we're gonna set up insulation with some blankets and see how warm it gets just with 1000 watt, actually like 900 watt infrared heater. I think we can get it pretty warm, and especially if the sun is shining, it's gonna get even slightly warmer. I'm out on another test with the Hypershell. The boat is down there, and like 2 or 3 kilometers up the road we got some mountains. I wanted to take a look, so I've been basically running up the hills, and I'm not even sweaty. I just turned off the motor just to test it, and you really feel how steep the hill is. I'm gonna turn it back on and then reach the mountains. So I'm all in for the demigod mythos, and now we're gonna take a look if I possess the strength and speed of Achilles, heading straight up that roughly 45 degrees incline. Now the Hypershell is off. Now the Hypershell is on. It's a strange feeling. It's like my hips are being pulled here and pushed at the titanium reinforced belt structure, and I'm just gliding forward. Especially I do not need to lift up my legs almost at all, and that takes a lot of the energy needed away from walking forward at a rapid pace, even running as I've been doing. We've made it pretty high. It's been effortless, to be honest. Here we have some roses and a beautiful view. Let's go a bit higher. Now we can actually see the Helios from here because we've climbed so high. The houses are no longer blocking the vision. We're pretty close to the shoreline, but now it's visible. Now I'm gonna descend, head back to the boat, go for a swim, and then try out that simple sauna solution with the blankets and the infrared heater. It's gonna be great seeing how that works. We'll see how hot we can get it, then we measure it with the thermometer. So now then, the benefits of owning a plywood luxury yacht is that you can just do anything you want. You can screw on anything almost anywhere as long as you don't puncture the hull. So now we're making this test version of the sauna. I'm just insulating with blankets, attaching it with screws and seeing what happens. So the plywood of the hull is 9 millimeters and the screws are 7 millimeters, so we should be fine. I'm just not gonna push them all the way in. Here we have one of the plywood supports, slightly overbuilt, so it's okay to just put anything in there as long as I don't cut away any of the material. Now this is what everybody wanted to do as a child. Alright, we got the final screws in there. There's enough space for both of us to sit inside, and we're gonna have a bit of water along with the infrared heating just in case, because the blankets may be flammable. It's already pretty hot. The infrared heater is now on at 900 watts and it's way comfier than I expected. I'm actually resting here, laying against the side of the boat, and Faye is short enough to sit here without hitting her head. I'm gonna get back to you in a couple minutes as the temperature is rising. I'm already burning a bit. So it seems that I have a sauna on board now. We got 46 degrees Celsius on this version 0.1 of the sauna. I'm definitely impressed because this is much larger than expected for a strange bow sauna at the front of the boat. That got a bit hot. The relative heat was 8 degrees because of the infrared coming straight onto my body, and now definitely if I add proper insulation, make it a real room, not a thing made out of flammable sheets, It will definitely be a proper sauna. You can lay inside there, really relax. You don't need to be like sitting very low and just getting heated up. It's gonna be awesome for those cold days when I wanna get heated up properly, and then I can head out swimming without being limited to a short duration in the water because you get too cold. I've done my fair share of cold baths on my survival adventures, and now it is time for abundance, for heat, and whenever the cold climates come, I will be again swimming in the ice. But let's go swimming then. Now we got roughly 16 degrees temperature here at the beach in Spain. I didn't expect it to be possible to climb up on this front deck, but apparently I did it. I'm very excited now. Tomorrow we should have a shipment coming to this city, the battery upgrade. There's been problems with the battery upgrades. The shipment haven't arrived for some reason, but I evaluate there's roughly 60% chance I actually get the batteries. But the last message I got from the shipping company or the collaboration company was 2 heart emojis, so we can't really tell. But if we do get that batteries, I hope to see you in the next video where we upgrade the performance of the Helios 11.